In February 2004, a 21-year-old nursing student from the University of Massachusetts disappeared without a trace after a seemingly minor car accident on a rural New Hampshire road. What followed has baffled investigators, haunted her family, and launched one of the most enduring mysteries of the internet age. Maura Murray was born on May 4th, 1982, in Hanson, Massachusetts. The fourth of five children, she was known for being bright, athletic, and driven. She excelled in academics and athletics, attending the United States Military Academy at West Point before transferring to the University of Massachusetts in order to study nursing. But behind her achievements, Maura's life was more complicated than it seemed. Just days before her disappearance, several strange incidents suggested that something was troubling her. On February 5th, 2004, Maura received a phone call while working her campus security job. After answering it, she reportedly broke down in tears. The reason for this emotional call remains unknown to this day. That same week, she crashed her father's car in Hadley, Massachusetts. Though the incident was minor, it added to the growing list of odd events. Then on February 9th, she emailed her professors claiming there had been a death in her family. A lie, and said she'd be gone for a week. She packed up her dorm room, withdrew some money from the ATM, bought alcohol, and drove north, alone. At around 7:27 p.m. on February 9th, Maura's black Saturn crashed into a snowbank on Route 112 near Haverhill, New Hampshire. A local resident, a school bus driver named Butch Atwood, stopped and asked if she needed help. She declined, claiming she had called AAA, even though there was no cell service in the area. When police arrived, roughly 7 to 10 minutes later, Maura was gone. Her car was locked. Her belongings, including the alcohol and some personal items, were still inside. There were no footprints in the snow leading away from the car. No signs of a struggle. No trace of Maura Murray has ever been found. Since Maura's disappearance, the case has exploded with theories, some plausible, others bordering on conspiracy. As we have previously mentioned, at 7:27 p.m., Maura crashed her black Saturn on Route 112. A local bus driver, Butch Atwood, stops. She declines help, and she says she's called AAA, which is impossible because there is no cell service in the area. Butch then drives off, and by the time the police arrive, she's gone. Some believe Maura was picked up or abducted by a passing driver, possibly a local, or someone impersonating law enforcement. Rumors of a suspicious vehicle seen in the area have never been confirmed. In the narrow search window, that fuels this theory even more. To further support this theory, tracking dogs lost her scent 100 yards from the car. It's as if she vanished, or more likely, got into someone's vehicle. Another theory is that someone living nearby had something to do with her disappearance. Years later, Maura's family hired private investigators who brought in cadaver dogs. One dog allegedly hid on a nearby home's basement, but local law enforcement never issued a search warrant. Years later, a closet in that same home was removed for testing, and still, no answers. Did someone lure her in? Or worse, intercept her on foot? It's a theory Maura's father, Fred Murray, has pushed for years, believing someone local is involved and was protected. Butch Atwood, the last person to see Maura, told police she seemed calm. He offered her help. She declined. Some online sleuths have raised questions about his timeline, but let's be clear. Butch was interviewed, polygraphed, and cleared by police. He passed away in 2009, still claiming he had nothing to hide. While Butch remains a point of interest in online forums, authorities no longer consider him a suspect. Could this be as simple as Maura panicked, fled the scene, drunk and injured, and succumbed to the cold? It was below freezing, and some think she might have walked into the woods and died of exposure. But over 20 years of searches with dogs, helicopters, and thermal imaging, not a single trace has been found. No clothes, no bones, no clues. If she walked into those woods, she never left a trail, which seems unlikely. The internet has kept Maura's case alive, from blogs to podcasts. A community of armchair detectives has dissected every detail. Some claim she was taken by a serial killer, like Israeli Keys, who was active in the Northeast. Others point to a pattern of young women disappearing along the Connecticut River Valley in the 80s and 90s. But to date, no serial killer has been linked to Maura's case. These theories remain intriguing, but speculative at best. Finally, we come to, did Maura disappear intentionally? Maura was under stress, academic trouble, a possible breakup, a recent car crash, and a lie about a family death to leave school. She withdrew money, bought alcohol, emailed professors, and headed north. Was this an escape plan? Well, maybe, but if it was, she left behind her wallet, her cell phone, and her future. And in 20 years, no one has found her, not even a trace. Over 20 years later, Maura Murray's disappearance remains one of the most haunting cold cases in America. The FBI continues to list her as a missing person. Her family still hopes for closure. And every year, new people discover her story and ask the same questions we've all been asking since 2004. What happened to Maura Murray? And will we ever know?